You know, men and women, they don't always speak the same language. And I'll tell you something, men, we don't always come out and say what we're feeling. Sometimes we test you, not because we're playing games, but because we're trying to figure out your character, your heart, and how serious you are. And ladies, you need to understand these tests because they reveal a lot about him. First, watch how he handles himself when he's around you. A man who's genuinely interested will show patience. He'll give you space, but also look for ways to connect without overwhelming you. That's a test. He wants to see if you respect his time, his mind, and his space. You see, ladies, one of the biggest tests a man gives you doesn't come in the form of words or speeches. No, it's quieter than that. It comes in the way he handles his own life and expects you to handle yours. A man who truly cares about you will pay attention to how you treat his time, how you react when he needs space, and how you respect his personal life. And this is where so many women get it wrong. They think every moment of attention, every text back immediately, every instant availability is proof of love. But love isn't measured in constant communication. It's measured in patience and understanding. Men test women by giving them room to breathe, by not smothering them, by allowing them to live their own lives while still being present in his. It's not about absence being the opposite of love. It's about absence revealing love. He wants to see if you can handle not being the center of his universe every second. If you can respect that he has his own goals, responsibilities, and friendships. Some women panic when a man doesn't text right away or doesn't call when they expect him to. That panic isn't a reflection of love. It's a reflection of insecurity. And men notice that. They notice who understands boundaries and who doesn't. Patience is a huge test because it separates those who are self-centered from those who are mature. A man will sometimes purposefully slow things down, not because he's losing interest, but because he's observing your reactions. Can you stay calm when you don't have constant reassurance? Can you trust that his actions, rather than immediate words, are what matter? This is important because life isn't always convenient, and love is tested in inconvenient moments. If you can respect that he has work to do, family to care for, or moments to himself, it shows him that you are a partner, not just a passenger. Respecting space is another side of this coin. Some women think they have to fill every moment of a man's life with attention to prove that they care. But a man who tests you will see if you can exist alongside him without controlling him, without needing constant affirmation, without creating unnecessary drama. When he gives you time to breathe, he's watching to see if you can handle independence without insecurity. Can you maintain your own hobbies, your own friends, your own goals without feeling threatened by his space? That's a big deal because life is not a movie where love exists in every scene. Love lives in the quiet, in the pauses, in the respect of boundaries. You also have to understand that patience isn't passive. It's not sitting around and waiting for him to notice you. It's actively showing maturity. It's being confident in yourself, in your worth, and in the understanding that a man testing you in this way is testing for depth, not desperation. If you react with anger, anxiety, or jealousy, you fail the test. But if you can show composure, understanding, and the ability to handle his life without suffocating it, you pass. And let me tell you, ladies, men notice this more than words. They notice it more than anything you could say. So the next time he gives you space, the next time he doesn't respond instantly, the next time he seems to pull back just a little, don't panic. Don't overthink. Instead, recognize that he is testing your patience, your respect, your understanding of boundaries, and your ability to love without clinging. That's how a man gauges whether you're someone he can truly build a life with. And trust me, a woman who gets this, who respects space, and who shows patience is a woman who will never have to question a man's intentions because she has already proven she can handle the heart behind them. Second, notice how he treats other people, especially those who can't do anything for him. You see, a lot of women only notice how a man treats them, but a man testing you will make sure you see how he treats waiters, cashiers, friends, and even strangers. That's a silent way of showing integrity. If he's kind and respectful in all situations, he's probably worth your time. Now listen, ladies, here's something that most women don't catch, but men are watching every single day, whether you realize it or not. Men will test women, not just by how they react to him, but by how they see him interact with the world around him. And here's the truth. How a man treats other people, especially those who can't do anything for him, says more about his heart than any words ever could. A man who is genuinely serious about you, a man who's worth your time, will reveal his character through his actions, and he wants to see if you notice, if you understand, if you value integrity. Think about it. A man might hold doors, tip waiters, greet strangers politely, or show patience to someone who's having a bad day. That's not showboating, that's his nature. And here's the real test. He's watching to see if you notice that too. Does your heart recognize the kindness? Do you respect it, or do you dismiss it because it's not directed solely at you? This is a subtle, silent test that most women miss because they are focused on whether he's complimenting them, calling them, texting them. But women who pay attention to this notice the difference between a man with character and a man who only performs for attention. The way a man treats others tells you how he will treat you in difficult times. Because let's be honest, when life gets messy, no one is watching. When no one's clapping, when there's no audience, will he still behave with honesty, patience, and respect? That's exactly what men are testing in women. They're showing their true selves and seeing if women recognize it. And women, if you see it, if you appreciate it, you're showing that you have discernment. You're showing that you understand substance over surface. And it doesn't stop with strangers. It's his friends, his family, his colleagues, anyone he interacts with regularly. Men notice how you react when you see him helping a friend move, supporting a family member, or handling a situation with someone who has wronged him without losing his composure. Are you judgmental, or do you respect his approach? Are you appreciative, or do you overlook it because it's not about you? That's the test. Because a man with integrity doesn't change who he is depending on, who's watching. And a woman with wisdom will recognize that and value it. Another part of this test is patience. You see, some men will purposely put you in situations where you observe them treating people with kindness or fairness, just to see if you notice and respect it. Some women will roll their eyes, criticize, or even feel jealous. But a woman who understands this test will see the value, the heart behind the actions, and appreciate it. She won't feel threatened because she's confident in herself and confident that genuine character is never a competition. Ladies, I'm telling you, pay attention to these moments because they are teaching moments. They reveal how he handles power, responsibility, and empathy. They show how he balances strength and kindness. And they reveal whether he is a man you can trust, a man who will act with integrity when life tests him and when no one is watching. Men don't always come out and say, "This is who I am." Sometimes they show it in quiet, everyday actions. And if you notice, you are passing the test without even knowing it. A man testing you through how he treats others is really testing your heart, your observation, and your values. Because at the end of the day, a man with true character wants a woman who sees the world the way he does, not just a woman who sees him. And when you recognize that, respect that, and value it, you've proven that you're someone who can truly walk with him through life. Third, watch for the moments when he's quiet. That's right. Sometimes silence is louder than words. Men will observe your reaction to patience, to not knowing everything right away. Will you freak out when he's not texting back immediately, or will you understand he's busy thinking or just being himself? That's another test, ladies. Now, ladies, this is one that trips up a lot of women, and it's a test that men give without ever saying a word. Silence. That's right. Sometimes a man doesn't need to explain anything, doesn't need to text, doesn't need to make a big show. He simply becomes quiet. And in that quiet, he's watching. He's watching how you respond, how you handle the unknown, and how you manage your emotions. You see, life isn't always loud. Life isn't always clear. And love isn't always expressed in constant words. Sometimes the most revealing moments are the ones where nothing is said at all. A man might not call for hours, or maybe he's busy and doesn't answer a text right away. Now, some women freak out. They overthink, they panic, they create scenarios in their minds about what's happening. But here's the truth. A man who tests women with silence wants to see if they can handle uncertainty with patience and trust. He wants to see if you can control your emotions and maintain your dignity when the situation isn't crystal clear. Because, let's face it, life is full of moments where you don't know the whole picture, and a woman who can navigate that with grace is someone he can count on. Now, I know some of you might be saying, Steve, but shouldn't he tell me how he feels? And yes, communication is important, but this is different. This is about seeing your reaction when there's space in the conversation. Will you overreact, send 50 messages? Or will you understand that silence doesn't equal rejection? Will you trust the relationship, trust yourself, and trust him without needing constant validation? That's exactly what he's testing. And don't forget, silence can also come in person. Maybe he's just thinking, maybe he's reflecting, maybe he's weighing his options. A man who is serious doesn't always have to fill the air with words. He's observing how you handle those quiet moments. Do you respect his need to think? Or do you bombard him with questions and pressure him to react? Women who can appreciate silence, who can handle quiet with calmness, are showing maturity, wisdom, and confidence. That's the kind of woman a man wants to invest in. Another part of this test is emotional control. When a man is silent, he's also seeing if you can manage your insecurities, your fears, and your need for immediate reassurance. Can you sit back, breathe, and trust that his actions, even if unseen in the moment, reflect his intentions? Or do you spiral into doubt and anxiety? Ladies, the difference between a woman who passes this test and one who doesn't is confidence. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance. It means knowing your worth, knowing that love isn't measured by how loud or constant it is, and knowing that a man who values you will show it consistently, even if he's quiet sometimes. The truth is, silence is one of the oldest tests in the book. It's simple, yet powerful. Men use it to see if you can stay composed, self-assured, and patient without needing constant words of affirmation. And when you do, when you show that you can handle the quiet with poise, you are sending him a message louder than any speech could. I am steady, I am patient, I am worth your time. And let me tell you, ladies, men notice that more than anything else. So the next time he goes quiet, the next time he doesn't immediately respond, remember that it's not about playing games. It's about revealing your true character. It's about showing him that you are confident, mature, and capable of handling life's silences with grace. That's what makes a woman unforgettable. That's what makes a woman someone a man can truly rely on for a lifetime. Fourth, pay attention to how he handles challenges. A man will often put you in situations where your response matters. It's not about making life hard. It's about seeing your resilience, your honesty, and your true nature. Can you stay calm under pressure? Can you communicate respectfully when things get messy? That's what he's checking. Now, ladies, this is a big one, and it's something most women completely miss. Men test women by watching how they handle challenges, not just the easy, fun, picture-perfect moments, but the messy, stressful, and inconvenient ones. Life isn't always going to hand you a bouquet of roses, and love isn't always going to be simple. So, a man will put you in situations, sometimes subtly, sometimes intentionally, to see how you respond when things aren't perfect. He wants to know if you crumble under pressure or if you rise with dignity. Think about it like this: life will throw obstacles at both of you, and he needs to see how you react when those obstacles show up. Will you freak out when plans change, get angry over small inconveniences, or start blaming him for things that aren't his fault? Or will you adapt, stay calm, and handle the situation with intelligence and grace? A man who's serious about you will observe how you navigate these moments because it reveals your true character. It's easy to be sweet and loving when everything is perfect. But real life isn't perfect, and neither is love. And here's the thing, challenges aren't always about life's big crisis. Sometimes it's in the little things, like how you respond when he's stressed, how you act when someone cuts in line in front of you at a store, or how you handle a disagreement calmly without screaming or sulking. Men notice patience, emotional control, and problem solving. They notice whether you can handle discomfort without turning it into drama. Because let's be honest, a man doesn't want a woman who will make mountains out of molehills. He wants someone steady, reliable, and capable of thinking clearly under pressure. Some men even test women by seeing how they handle disappointment. Maybe he makes a mistake. Maybe he's late. Maybe something doesn't go according to plan. How do you react? Do you overreact? Do you sulk? Do you make him feel worse for an honest mistake? Or do you understand that life happens and people are human and sometimes things go wrong? Your reaction in these moments tells him more than 1,000 words ever could. It shows maturity, understanding, and emotional intelligence. The kind of qualities that make a woman not just a partner, but a teammate for life. And it's not just about reacting to his challenges. Men will test you by seeing how you handle your own. Can you take responsibility when things go wrong on your side, or do you pass the blame? Can you stay calm when you face obstacles that threaten your peace, your schedule, or your goals? Men pay attention to that because life is not going to wait for anyone. A woman who faces challenges with grace, patience, and problem-solving skills is someone a man can truly rely on. Another part of this test is resilience. Men want to see if you can bounce back when things don't go your way. If you give up at the first sign of trouble, that's a red flag. But if you persevere, stay positive, and handle setbacks with confidence, you're proving that you can handle life's unpredictability alongside him. That's the kind of woman a man respects, admires, and ultimately wants in his corner for the long haul. So ladies, pay attention to how he watches you during challenges. He's not trying to trip you up or play games. He's trying to see your heart, your character, and your ability to face life head on. Because at the end of the day, love isn't just about feelings. It's about navigating the tough times together. And if you can do that with grace, resilience, and intelligence, you've passed a test more important than any conversation could ever measure. Fifth, see how he talks about the future, even without directly saying, "I'm serious about you." A man will give clues. Does he include you in his plans? Does he casually talk about life goals, family, or dreams? That's a test of your ambition and how your life aligns with his. Now, ladies, here's something most women completely overlook. And it's one of the most subtle ways a man tests a woman without ever saying a word. He talks about the future, not in a formal, "let's get married tomorrow" way, but in casual conversations, in the way he includes you in his life plans, in the way he hints at what's important to him and where he's headed. Men do this to see if you're thinking long term, if your life aligns with his goals, and if you can handle being part of something bigger than just the moment. It's not a test about how much you love him. It's a test about how much you understand his vision and whether you're ready to walk alongside him. Pay attention to the small things he says. Maybe he talks about a project at work and casually mentions how he wants to travel for it. And then he looks at you to see if you're interested or supportive. Maybe he talks about family traditions or where he sees himself in 5 years. These aren't random conversations. They're a way of including you in his world without forcing it. He's testing to see if you're capable of being part of his life's journey, not just someone along for the ride. And ladies, Notice the way he frames these conversations. A man who's testing you through future talk isn't asking you to commit immediately. He's observing your reaction. Do you get scared, anxious, or pushy? Or do you listen, absorb, and consider how your life could intersect with his naturally? Your response tells him everything he needs to know about your maturity, your independence, and your ability to think beyond today. A woman who can handle these moments thoughtfully is someone a man sees as a potential life partner, not just a temporary companion. Future conversations are also about alignment of values. When he talks about where he's headed, he's testing whether your priorities and ambitions match his. If he dreams about building a career, traveling, or investing in his passions, he wants to see if you support those goals, encourage him, and respect his vision. Conversely, he also wants to see if your ambitions are compatible. Can you grow together, or will one of you constantly feel held back? These discussions may seem casual, but in reality, they're a critical way for him to gauge your readiness for a serious, long-term relationship. It's important to note that men aren't always explicit with these tests. They won't say, "I'm testing you with this future talk." That's not how men operate. They're subtle. They drop hints, they share glimpses, and they watch how you respond. And women who recognize this, who respond with thoughtfulness and insight rather than anxiety or impatience, are the ones who stand out. They show a man that they're capable of thinking ahead, of handling life's big questions, and of being a partner who adds value to his vision, not complicates it. Another part of this test is trust. A man wants to know if you can trust his intentions when he talks about the future. Can you hear his hopes and dreams without projecting fear, doubt, or insecurity onto them? Can you be genuinely excited for what he wants to achieve, even if it doesn't immediately benefit you? A woman who can do this proves that she's confident, secure, and ready to be part of a meaningful partnership. Ladies, the truth is, future conversations are more than casual chats. They're windows into a man's heart, his intentions and his goals. They are silent tests to see if you're someone who can walk beside him through life, not just sit in the passenger seat. A woman who recognizes these moments, who responds thoughtfully, and who supports his vision without losing herself in the process is a woman a man will respect, trust, and commit to. That's why paying attention, listening, and responding wisely during these conversations is one of the most important skills you can have in a relationship. Ladies, I'm telling you this, men aren't always going to explain these tests. Some don't even know they're doing it. But if you pay attention, if you watch the patterns, you will know a man's heart, his intentions, and his worth. Stop guessing. Stop making excuses for actions that don't match words. A man who's serious about you doesn't have to test you endlessly. He'll show it. And a woman who knows her value won't fall for games. Remember this, men test, but women observe. Don't get caught up in trying to pass every test. Instead, notice the truth he's showing you and let that guide your heart. Ladies, if there's one thing you need to understand about men, it's this: words are easy. Anyone can say, "I love you," "I care about you," or "you mean everything to me." But actions are where the truth lies. And this is exactly how men test women without ever saying a word. They test your ability to see beyond the sweet talk and notice whether his actions match his words. A man who is serious about you will show consistency, and he's looking to see if you recognize it. Think about it. A man might promise to call, to show up, or to be there in a certain way. But life happens. Sometimes he's late. Sometimes plans change. But the real test is whether he follows through consistently over time. Consistency is about reliability, trustworthiness, and showing up even when it's inconvenient. It's about proving that he's not just saying the right things, but living them every single day. And ladies, a woman who pays attention to this consistency will see a man's heart more clearly than any grand declaration ever could. Men also test women through consistency in small everyday actions. It's not always the big gestures, the romantic dinners, or the flowers. It's the small, repeated behaviors that show who he really is. Does he remember the little things about you? Does he check in without being prompted? Does he respect your time and your feelings day after day? That's the consistency a man uses to test a woman's ability to observe, appreciate, and understand the real depth of his intentions. And here's the thing. Consistency isn't just about what he does. It's about how he balances actions with words. Some men talk a big game, but when it comes to showing up, they fall short. Others might not say much, but their actions speak volumes. Women who can recognize the difference between talk and action are the ones who pass this test. They understand that love isn't measured by speeches or promises, but by the repeated demonstration of care, reliability, and respect. Consistency is also a test of patience and understanding. Life isn't perfect and people make mistakes, but the overall pattern matters. If a man consistently treats you well, communicates with respect, and shows up when it counts, he's proving that he's dependable. And he's watching to see if you notice, if you value that, and if you respond with gratitude and understanding instead of skepticism or doubt. Women who can see the long-term picture and recognize patterns of behavior rather than focusing on isolated incidents are the ones who show maturity and emotional intelligence. Another part of this test is trust. A man who consistently shows up, who follows through on promises, and who behaves with integrity is testing your ability to trust him. He wants to know if you can rely on him without constantly questioning his intentions or doubting his actions. Women who pass this test are confident in the consistency they observe, and that confidence strengthens the relationship. It's a silent communication that says, I see you. I understand your heart. I know your intentions. Ladies, consistency over words is the foundation of any lasting relationship. Men know this, and they test for it. They want to see if you can discern the truth behind their actions, if you can appreciate reliability over empty promises, and if you can recognize a man's real character even when no one is watching. A woman who notices, understands, and respects consistency is a woman a man can trust with his heart, his life, and his future. And that, ladies, is priceless.